Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's the first time you're visiting. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have not already guessed by the title, today I'm going to be doing a new fragrances in my collection video slash perfume haul, depending on what you want to call it. So if you like the sound of that and you want to hear what the newest fragrances are in my collection, then please do keep on watching. So I'm going to start with probably the most controversial fragrance launch this year, and it is none other than the new Mugler Angel Elixir. And there has definitely been a lot of talk about this newest flanker from the Angel lineup. I'm going to give you a close-up of the bottle. Very similar to the original Angel, but this time in a dark blue bottle. Now, there are going to be people out there that are not going to like my opinion on this, and that is okay. I am cool with it. But I actually really like Angel Elixir. Now, if I was going to compare it to what I think it should have smelled like, then maybe I probably would have felt a little bit different. But what I'm trying to do here is review it as a standalone fragrance and not think about it as being a flanker of Angel. So I know that sounds a little bit strange. However, this was not meant to be a stronger version of Angel, not from what I've seen anyway. This is a standalone fragrance, and I feel like it is a really beautiful feminine fragrance. It's going to be pretty mass appealing, very likable. It will get the compliments. So for that reason, I really enjoy this. Now, Mugler as a brand has a split audience. There are people that really despise Angel and Alien, and I actually like both Angel and Alien. Whilst I don't necessarily wear the originals, so Angel and Alien, sorry, I keep saying that name, I do enjoy them, and it's a fragrance that I appreciate. So I was going into Angel Elixir with a very open mind. I kind of already knew that it was likely not to smell like the original, of course, since L'Oreal bought Mugler. The fragrances have been reformulated quite heavily, but I'm not going to get into that today. I'm just going to talk about the fragrance itself. It's a very pretty feminine floral. I don't see much similarity between this and Angel at all. If anything, I would say it's more in the realm of being a little bit more like Alien. There's jasmine, there's orange blossom, there's ylang ylang in here. It has pink pepper. Definitely has a vanillic touch too. It's sweet, but not too sweet. I think it's going to be a great spring summer fragrance. The longevity is pretty good on my skin too. Now, if you're expecting the Elixir to be a more intense version of Angel, it's not. You might already know that. But if you are open to a new interpretation from Mugler and you like the sound of jasmine, you like orange blossom, you like ylang ylang, a little bit of pepper and a little bit of vanilla, I think that you should try Angel Elixir because I think it's a very pretty fragrance. I need to play around with it a little bit more. I've only had it in my collection less than a week so far, so this is very much just a first impressions, but I am in the team of actually liking this one. So yeah, that was the first fragrance that I wanted to talk about today, and I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, whatever they may be. The next fragrance truly knocked my socks off. It is absolutely incredible, and it is Neroli Blanc Intense. I'm going to give you a close-up of the bottle. Very new to my collection. I've only had it about 2 weeks, and wow, this one is true love. I'm going to read you what the brand name is, and I am sorry in advance for my pronunciation. It is from the brand Upes de la Flor de Oranja. Wow, I'm really sorry for that, but I will pop the name in the description box below. Forgive me for that pronunciation. Now, Neroli Blanc Intense came onto my radar via YouTube actually, and I have seen Abby and Sharida talk about this one. I'm going to link their channels below. They have also reviewed this fragrance. This is of course a first impression over here, but wow, this is one of the most spectacular orange blossom and neroli fragrances that I have ever put my nose on. It really did blow my socks off, and it's at a pretty decent price for a niche quality perfume. This is roughly, I believe, about 120 euros. I need to go and fact check myself on that. But when you compare it to other fragrances on the market that are dominant in orange blossom, whether that be Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy, it could be Memo's Sintra, Parfums de Mali Oriana, the price point of this for the longevity and the scent profile is spectacular. Now, orange blossom, orange blossom, orange blossom. Tie that in with the Neroli and add this honeyed aspect. Wow. Now, if you watch my channel, you probably already know that I am a light sprayer. I am a 2 to 4 spray max kind of gal. I get migraines. So I've had this for 2 weeks and I've already made a little bit of a dent in it, which shows how much I actually love the fragrance. But not only that, I don't feel like you need that many sprays, because for me, the 2 to 4 sprays max, this lasts all day and the sillage is absolutely incredible. It keeps wafting up in the air as I'm speaking. I get this beautiful honeyed orange blossom. It is like there is a bowl of fresh petals that have been crystallized. You're getting beautiful wafts of mandarin, you're getting bergamot, you've got that honeyed orange blossom, the really fresh neroli, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of musk. I think this is phenomenal, but I'm going to take my time with this one. I'm going to review it in more detail in videos to come, but as a first impression, it is one of the most phenomenal floral fragrances I have tried in a long time. I will link this one in the description box below, as I know it can be difficult to pick up in some countries, but Sharida managed to get it in the US, so I will find that link and share it below. But I actually got mine from an amazing niche retailer called Fiel, so I will link them down in the description box below. But yeah, I absolutely adore this one. The next fragrance has been on my wish list for quite some time, and it is by Armani, the Privé line, and it is Magenta Tanzanite. And I love that the bottles in this collection all have a different corresponding color, and this one in particular is a really pretty pink marble. I think it's incredible, to be quite honest with you. And if I liked more from the range, I would collect the different bottles, because I could imagine having the light blue marble, the green marble, the red marble, etc. would look really pretty on a display cabinet. But anyway, let's get on to the juice, because of course that is what is most important. Now, this type of scent profile is exactly what I crave, specifically in autumn winter or in the evenings. Magenta Tanzanite is a concoction of cardamom, it's got coffee, it's got myrrh, I think it's got ginger, a little bit of vanilla, it's got tonka bean. Listen, this is the type of scent that I absolutely crave. This one just drives me crazy. And if you like fragrances similar to Xerjoff Starlight, Fragrance du Bois, Minuit et Demi, that type of resinous, slightly spicy scent profile, then I think you would really appreciate Magenta Tanzanite. What I mostly get from Magenta Tanzanite is that strong cardamom and coffee note. You definitely get the sweetness from the tonka bean and the vanilla combined. I pick up that ginger, just a little bit of zestiness, and then you get this really nice kind of cinnamon and myrrh come through. I need to smell it again. This is one that makes my eyes roll into the back of my head. I kind of wish this was my scent of the day now, but I wanted to test Mugler Angel Elixir again, and I wanted to test Neroli Blanc Intense, but I wish I got this one sooner. However, I did hold off for quite a long time, as I do have similar ones in my collection, but best believe I am so happy to now have this in my collection. It's going to be a real love, and expect to see it in more videos to come. I need to speed up a little bit because I've got a lot of fragrances to talk to you about. So the next one is from Orchestra Parfum, and this one is Bouquet Encore. And I have a little bit of a story to tell you on this one, but first I'll give you a close-up of the bottle. Now, I have one other fragrance from this collection, which is my trusty favorite Rose Trombone. I'm absolutely in love with that one. And there are many others from L'Orchestra Parfum that I want to add to my collection, but I was recently going through their discovery set and sampling all of the different fragrances, and I didn't think that I would like Bouquet Encore. Now, I have seen a lot of reviews over on YouTube. Demi Rawlings talks about this one quite a lot and she loves it. But the fact that it had a tuberose note in there, I was just like, I'm not gonna love that one. It doesn't sound like a scent profile that is for me at all. Well, this is why it's so important to sample fragrances and don't just write them off because of the notes listed, because this is a tuberose fragrance that I actually really love. I'm so glad I sampled it and I'm so glad I have it in my collection. Now, what does Bouquet Encore smell like to me? Now, I think this smells a little bit different to how the note breakdown is listed online. It smells very honeyed, so a little bit similar to Neroli Blanc Intense in terms of, I feel like there's a honeyed kind of orange blossom note in here. The tuberose isn't super prominent. It's not a bubblegummy tuberose and it's not a kind of dry old-fashioned tuberose either. This is a beautiful bouquet of very sweet, dense and sugary florals, balanced out with that musk in the dry down and the vanilla. It makes this very, very likable. I must say I don't get much of the pepper, but I think this is going to be perfect for spring and summer. Very much a first impressions. I need to play around with it a little bit more. I've only worn it once on the skin, so I don't feel like I can give you a detailed review right now. But I'm so happy to have a tuberose dominant fragrance in my collection. And I just want to stress the importance of sampling fragrances because I am so guilty of just going onto either Fragrantica or wherever you get your fragrance news from. I read the note breakdown and I will instantly be like, that is not for me. And I have started to just be a bit more open-minded, and I am glad I have started that routine because I have found some gems by doing that. Anyway, let's get on to the next fragrance. So that was L'Orchestra Parfum Bouquet Encore. The next fragrance is a new release from M.Micallef, and this one is Red Colorado. And this is a prime example of not judging a fragrance by its note breakdown. So first, I will give you a close-up of the bottle. And this is traditionally marketed more towards men. However, I totally believe that this is unisex. Anyone can wear this fragrance. The notes might feel a little bit more masculine leaning, and to be fair, I did judge this one on the notes before I smelt it. And when the brand reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try this one, I was a little bit hesitant, I'm not gonna lie, because upon reading the notes, I was just like, I'm not sure I'm gonna like this. It sounds very masculine leaning, but I will give it a shot. And I am so glad that I was open-minded because this one is actually really incredible and very unique within my collection. So to me, I find this scent profile really sexy. It definitely reminds me of being outdoors, being surrounded by dense woods, and it gives you a real feeling of nature, but the dry down has so much vanilla in here, which makes it a lot more wearable. I'm actually going to read you some of the notes because it's quite unusual. This one has cypress, pine, fir, green leaves, patchouli, woodsy notes, guaiac wood, cedar, sandalwood, leather, vanilla, rose, and bergamot. So when you hear those notes, you're probably instantly thinking, wow, there's a lot of green notes in there. There's a lot of woody notes in here. And you absolutely get the cypress and the fir. And I don't want to say it's got a Christmas tree vibe, but it almost does have a little bit of that in here. But then combine that with the guaiac wood, you get the bergamot up top and then lots of vanilla and sandalwood in the base. I think it's super, super wearable, but it will also leave you smelling unique. And the kind of person I could imagine wearing Red Colorado is they're an outdoorsy person, as I mentioned. They maybe like going on hikes, but they take care of themselves too. They are getting a little bit hot and sweaty on their walk. They smell a little bit rugged, whether that be a male or a female. And I just feel like it's such a sexy fragrance. It definitely appeals to me anyway. And I can't wait to play around with this one a little bit more. But I will just say, don't judge this one on the notes. Try get a sample of it or find it in a retailer somewhere because this one took me by surprise and I actually really love it. So that was the new Red Colorado by M.Micallef. The next fragrance that I want to talk to you about is by Mizensir, and this one is Poudre d'Or. And I'm really happy to have another Mizensir in my collection now. I love how understated the bottles are. But Poudre d'Or is not necessarily a fragrance that I would go out of my way to purchase just based on the notes. And I'm going to keep mentioning this. Like, I judge fragrances on their notes quite harshly. but I'm stopping doing that in the future because Poudre d'Or is absolutely gorgeous. The most balmy, floral, soft, clean, feminine fragrance. I wore it the other night and it blew me away, actually, more so because of the performance. I was expecting it to be more of a skin scent, but on me it had mega sillage. So what does Poudre d'Or smell like? Okay, this is iris, tiare flower, jasmine. It has musk. I think it has a little bit of sandalwood in there, maybe a little bit vanillic, but I feel like it's quite solar. It's very balmy. It feels just luscious on the skin, and it almost gives me the vibes of smelling like a really luxurious body cream, which might not be how some people want to smell, and I can appreciate that. However, I find that smell really comforting, and you're going to smell clean, you're going to smell fresh out of the shower, and it gives me a little bit of the vibes of a Nivea cream, but a really expensive, luxurious version. It's so classy, so beautiful, and yeah, this one actually took me by surprise. I think I mentioned that already. I love an iris fragrance, specifically at the moment, iris and tiare flower. I am really drawn to those notes, and I think it's because I've been going for more softer, feminine florals as of late. Poudre d'Or is definitely one I would highly recommend you sample if you can do. I think the Mizensir collection is so beautifully done, and I feel like there's probably something for everyone within that collection. But I will review this in more detail to come, as it's so new to my collection that I can't really give you a detailed review, but my first impression is it's really beautiful and I love it. The next fragrance I bought into the hype, and I purchased this one because people kept raving about it on Instagram and on YouTube, and it is by Blanc, and this one is called Signature. And I think the bottle is very aesthetically pleasing, and people always said it was one of their clean, fresh smelling fragrances with a soft vanillic touch. Sounds like something that I would absolutely love, right? But I'm not sure at the moment. I need to play around with it a little bit more. And I know this will disappoint the people out there that love it, but I was expecting more, and I just don't know how I feel about it right this second. I'm not getting what I expected it to be. I was hoping for a soft vanillic musky fragrance, but there's something in here that really bothers me. And it's still very new. I need to play around with it a little bit more, but on a first impression, I'm not sure. I do think it's nice. I'm just not sure. So I'm not going to review this one too much now because, like I said, I'm still playing around with it, and I might do a full-on switch and I might end up liking it. But as a first impressions, it's not what I expected, and I need more time with it. So that one was a little bit disappointing, but I thought I would share my thoughts with you. So that was Mont Blanc Signature. And the last fragrance that I want to share with you is from Goldfield and Banks, and it is Bohemian Lime. And I was excited to get this one in the collection for my spring and summer recommendations. However, we're in March and it is snowing outside here in the UK. Like, looking out my window right now, it is snowing. It's very, very bizarre. And that is why I haven't quite posted my spring recommendations, because it just doesn't feel right when it's still so cold here in the UK. But my spring recommendations will be coming soon, so please do keep an eye out for that. Did I do a close-up of the bottle? I'm not sure. So I'm going to do it again, just in case. So this is Bohemian Lime from Goldfield and Banks. And this is very different from anything in my collection. It has a key note of lime, as the name suggests. I think it is actually called finger lime, the note they use in here. It also has coriander, it has vetiver, it has bergamot, sandalwood. So it's a little bit of a different take on a spring fragrance. This one is totally unisex. But what I love about it is how zesty that finger lime is in the opening. But you are getting a strong burst of vetiver too, which is why this is a very unisex fragrance. It's not a girly, fruity kind of spring fragrance, if that's what you had in mind. That coriander gives it an interesting kind of aromatic herbal touch. And then you get lots of woods in the base. So there is cedar and sandalwood. So if you're not a massive fan of vetiver or woody fragrances, you'll definitely want to sample this one first, because it could technically lean a little bit masculine for some people if they don't like woody fragrances and if they don't like vetiver. But for me personally, I love those notes. I love lime, and I think this is absolutely incredible. It will leave me feeling refreshed in the hotter months to come, and I will be reviewing this one in more detail. But my first impressions are it's a beautiful lime-based fragrance. I have sampled it before getting the full-size bottle, so I already knew that I liked this fragrance. But yeah, that was the last fragrance that I wanted to talk to you about. It is Bohemian line from Goldfield and Banks. I hope you enjoyed seeing the new fragrances that have recently been added to my collection. Was there anything in this video that stood out to you? Please do let me know down in the comments. But what I most want to know is what fragrances or fragrance have you recently added to your collection? Please do let me know down in the comments, because I find some incredible scents through you. Some of my best and most loved fragrances in my collection I found in the comments, so I do appreciate them, and please do keep them coming. But I want to thank you so much for watching today. I hope to see you all in a video to come. Have a wonderful day. Thank you and goodbye.